Okay, Jimmy Kimmel Show. The Jimmy Kimmel Show. Is it Jimmy Kimmel Live? It's called Jimmy Kimmel Live. Jimmy Kimmel Live. It was on for what? Almost 30 years or 25 years, maybe. I don't know. Time goes by fast, so you don't really know. Sometimes you forget how long things have been on. The kitty next to me is in a box. She's really cute. He kept jumping on my hand. They don't let me use my hands. Like in the morning, they're like, "Oh, pet me, pet me, pet me," or if they have to be isolated, because of maybe having a parasite, so they can't be together. So you got to lock one in one room, and let the other one run around. Then you switch them out another day. You lock one in one room, and let them have them. But you got to keep changing cat boxes, so that's tough. But now they're separated because they're about to get spay and neutered. But he's really cute. But the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Did you used to watch it? Will it be back? Okay. People have been asking me a lot of questions about that because of the fact I made videos on here about my experiences working on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. If you go back that way, you can find videos of me. The actual episode, one of the actual episodes I was on, I just filmed the whole skit, and you can see that. I just held my phone to the television. It wasn't like I had gone, they don't give you copy on those. Copy would be, kind of like content. They'll give you your piece of when you're on there, or maybe they'll give you the whole show. They used to give it to you on DVDs. Before that, they'd give it to you on videos. I know what they did in the old days. Maybe they didn't provide copy. Maybe they give you a ticket to go to the local theater and watch it. I don't know how they did it back then. But anyway, in my day, which has spanned now 22 years of acting, you get copy. Like the one of the Forbes. When it first started, every now and then they'd have a Polaroid camera that take your photo with a Polaroid for a community. Now they don't even do that. They want to see what you look like in your. Sometimes if you like when you watch or something, have you hold your hands up like this, and they would take the photo. But nowadays, usually what they do is just take it off of the film. While you're working, they don't have to have extra people out there to go line everybody up and take photos. They do it sometimes, but normally they just take it off there. So anyway, here we go. My experience. That is only my experience. I do experience the need to have people subscribe, like, share, and comment. Put your comments down below. Okay, so this is my experience. Let's look at what happened, and then I'll go to my experience. So people are saying he shouldn't have gotten fired because we have freedom of speech. But remember, freedom of speech is from the government. The government will not arrest us or prosecute us or throw us in jail for something we say. They always say, just because you have freedom of speech doesn't mean you can come into a crowded theater and yell fire. So there are some rules to that. There's some parameters, some guidelines, some don't do this. It's okay to say this lady is a whatever. This lady on TV, she's such a S word, is the T. But you can't say because of that, I would like to chop her head off. You can't say that. We got to keep it real, because other people might be inspired to do things. If you yell fire in a crowded theater, what's going to happen? People are going to run and stampede. You're encouraging them to do that. So just because we have freedom of speech, that's freedom from government prosecution. That's not an employer. If you run in and say, hey, employer, you're a big, fat, smelly butthead. Oh yeah, you're fired. You can't do that. I have freedom of speech. Well, here I have freedom of speech too. You are fired. So you have to understand, the people that were putting that stuff on there, a lot of them might have been mentally challenged. Let's say, I don't know the right word for that. You have to know that if you post that on a media, like this channel right here has got over 2 million views. So if I was to say something like that, there's a chance with that video coming out, someone's going to view it. Now my short videos get a lot more views than my long videos. Everybody experiences that because of short, I'll watch 15 seconds of a cat batting around a spoon on the floor. I'll watch 15 seconds of that, but I'm not going to watch 8 minutes of someone talking to me about why my whatever is not what they think it should be, or why I do something that I shouldn't have done. So anyway, um, he was claiming, or was it a joke? Because it wasn't really funny what he was saying. It's more of a statement. That's the problem. A lot of people say late night television is going to die because we come there for laughter, but we only get lectures. And I think Jimmy Kimmel would agree to that he does provide lectures sometimes, often. John Colbert, no, that's the guy from that thing. Anyway, Colbert is getting because it's basically the same thing. It's nighttime. We worked all day. We're tired. And, I don't have to go to work until 11. I think I'm going to see what's going on Johnny Carson with the old clicker, or David Leonard. They were funny. Johnny Carson said he kept the political stuff, the serious stuff aside because this is time to laugh. This is laughing time. Now, if something serious happened during that, if let's say they were on the air when John F. Kennedy was assassinated or something, of course that's going to get a somber, and they're going to scrub it and go wall-to-wall news. Even back then they did that. Or they would have to dress it. It's supposed to be funny time. So he said he thought that the MAGA people were out there trying to scramble so that they won't know that shooter was MAGA. The shooter was a skinny, younger, homosexual male, and not a white supremacist. He killed a popular conservative white man, so he wasn't a white supremacist. He wasn't using an automatic weapon. I did a video here that came out yesterday about did they get the wrong. Did the media get it wrong? I'll put a link. I'll put the little thing about it up here. Where it shows at the end. He'll show the end screen. I'll put it on there. But it came out yesterday, and I was asked by a number of people that because I teach shooting. I'm a combat arms instructor, and there's a combat arms. Some of the weapons we use are both combat and non-combat weapons. Some are only combat. Some you can't buy without a special license. We do the same thing with other things. We'll have a Hummer. The Hummer was originally a military vehicle that we started doing for civilians as well. We have some things we use both things. It'll be used as a military weapon and a civilian weapon. So he said that thing, and he got shown the door. Now, my experience. Don't forget to watch that video about that. People in the media were asking me about the shooting aspect of that, and that's where I came up with the fact this guy doesn't really fit the narrative at all. And I'm not saying anything wrong with liberal media, but the liberal media does kind of do that. They give you a lot of misinformation. There's one person, I think he was a senator, he said if you pull the trigger one time, 100 bullets come out. Well, 100 bullets, you might pull the trigger, and get scared, and 100 bullets fall out of your pocket because you got startled, or maybe a kitty stepped on your toe. So, no, that's not true. So, a lot of misinformation. But my experience with Jimmy Kimmel, people were asking, well, what was it like working on the Jimmy Kimmel show? Did you meet Jimmy? Yes. What were the kind of things that were discussed? You got to remember, that's a work environment. It's not a cocktail party. It's not a tea party. What's it called? A tea clutch or whatever. I don't know. We were there to work. We worked through COVID sometimes. We had to go get a bunch of COVID tests. Remember back then you had to get a COVID test like 4 days in a row before you could even work. 3 or 4 days in a row. I was there during that time. I was there before that time. So what it was like to work there, it was similar to every other thing I ever did, except for it's a live television show. Live, and we film it live, and then it's put on later. I don't know if you knew that we don't really film it at 11:59 at night or 12:05 in the morning. They wouldn't have time for that. If anything happened to that situation, they wouldn't have time to fix it. So they film it live audience. But then there's also skits. You can see the kitty right there. He's ran by. He's looking for a piece of paper. But anyway, so we film it early. So if you do a skit, you usually do it around 10 in the morning. And then if you're part of the live production where you're actually on with the audience in place, that would be I think we filmed that around 7, and then they show it 7 Pacific time. and then they get it ready and they get it out for they get it out for the East Coast or whatever. So that's what happens. You come in, they meet you in the parking lot. They say, we're walking in, talent coming in, and you're walking by, and the audience is they're trying to get tickets already in line, and they hear audience coming in. I got to throw something at the kitty. Go get that. He found the paper for the printer, and he's chewing at the paper, and now he's got something outside threw at him, which is plastic, and he's now anyway. So that's the play-by-play for the kitty who's being naughty. So anyway, you walk through, audience coming in, talent coming in, and everybody's trying to get their book out thinking maybe it's somebody really important. Then it's me. Doop, 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 and I go in. Okay, then if it's a skit, that's early. So they get there pretty early because they gotta. They're already in line when I get there hours before they film it. I think what they do, people will go get in line, and if they get tickets, then they leave, maybe get a late lunch or something, and then walk around, Hollywood a little bit, and then come back in. That's what most people told me they did when they would go there. So then they come in and they say, "Hey, David, how are you doing, buddy? How's it going? You look just like your photos or whatever." And they come in, hey, have a seat. Let's get you signed in. Kitty, knock it off. Let's get you all signed in. Okay, great. And you sign in, and they said, you know what you're doing, right? And I said, yeah, sure do. And they go get some coffee, and it's free, of course. Get some coffee, a little something to eat, and come back here, and we'll get you over to wardrobe and get you just squared away. Okay, great. And then, wow, today should be not called Saturday, it should be called Bad Animal Day. Ellie, shut up! We had the trees all cut down to the back. I talked to you like a friend, like, hey, I know what you're here. I may have to pause because they cut down the tree in the back. Not cut down the tree, cut down all the stuff on the tree. So it's warmer out there, but also she can see everything. She can smell real well. She's a stinky girl. But her nose works good, and her ears work good. And her brain, I don't know about that. But her eyes are not quite as good as some other animals. But now she can see everything. And anybody that walks by can see her in the backyard. Oh, hey, dog. And blah, 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 blah. And the next one is, hi. Okay, anyway. So, Ellie, shut up. So, you say, okay, now I've got it to where you sign in. You come in, you get your coffee, you come back, they go, then they say, well, we get ready for about 30 minutes. You can sit in the green room or sit in this area, and then we'll come out and get you. Great. Then you sit there, and there's not much to do with it. I usually bring a book, and then they come and get you pretty quickly. You sign in. You've already signed in. You talk to the camera people, and you talk to the AD, which is the assistant director, or the PA, which is a production assistant, and then they come down and talk to you. And then the main producers come in, and then it gets a little bit more serious because it's almost go time. And they're not that they're more serious than anyone else. They might, get a wad of tape and bonk you on the back of your head. You never know, because it's kind of fun environment. They're nice. Then we have a little chit chat. They'll say, how long have you been acting? What do you do? What are some of the things you've been in? And we talk about all that. Do they care? I don't know. Are they being nice? Yes. But I don't know if they care. Kitty, can you just knock it off? I'm going to pause for him. I was going to pause for the dog. But now he is doing something else naughty. I just find something to throw at him. Hey, Jake! Knock it off! Get over here! He'll sit perfectly still, and he'll just jump up. He's the kid, He'll be sitting like this, and all of a sudden, and just start batting everything. Why? I don't know. What is he trying to do? I don't know. Is it cute? Yeah, but sometimes you got to do things too. Now he's about to knock over a big stack of clothes that just folded. I guess I'll be redoing that. I'm not gonna pause for a second. Keep going. Jay, hey, knock it off. Okay. So the kitties, they don't know. Knock it off. Stop. Leave it. They do things until they stop doing it. And then that's what it is. But anyway, so I've signed in. They come and they talk about. They'll ask you about something like the military. Were you in the military? It usually comes up. What did you do before that? I was in the military for a long time. Or was you in the military? I taught shooting. Blah blah blah. And that. And then either we get ready there, or then we go over that. Then we have more of a break, a little bit. Not really a break, but we're just setting up cameras. They do a little lighting. Usually you don't have a stand-in because it's live TV. You just you're like your own stand-in. So they need to do something on the camera. Hey, Dave, you mind sitting right here for 1 second? They look at something, and then they look at lighting or whatever. Okay, that's great. Then they'll ask you about things like, no, kitty. I've got to pause. And we're back. Okay. Man. Hey, kind of knocks the breath out. You had to jump up, run over. Okay, so he's now locked out. You may hear him meowing trying to get back in, but I locked him out of the room. So, okay, so we sign in, we do it, we go on a break. Some people might come in and ask you, hey, you got any weekend plans? Oh, no. And you don't really know who these people are. They're not wearing a tag. You can tell kind of what the big wigs are because there'll be very few of them. And there'll be other people running around. You might have grips and people working in costuming, makeup, hair, makeup. You might do all those different things. And it's going pretty fast at this point. Then, then we film, and then when it's over, you come over, they talk to you about, maybe you can work on this later, or we have this going on, or oh yeah, please, whatever it was, because these are good paying jobs. This is not chump change. This is not a roll of quarters and a cup of coffee. You may think no one would do that. People work for free. A lot of these projects that you see people on, they're working for free. They're not making any money at all. I always tell people, if you're going to be, if they're not going to pay you anything, you might be the star on that show. And if they're going to rip you off, if ever there's a too good to be true, if they say, okay, David, we're going to put you on this thing, you're going to be doing background work, which usually pays now, when I first started, it was $54 for 8 hours. You can make pretty good money because you're not going to only be there for 8 hours, you're going to be there for 12 hours, whatever. So you get a lot of overtime. Plus, you eat for free. Your coffee's free. You don't have to really have a lot of expense. Just get there, and then the rest of the day, everything's covered. But they might say, oh, we're going to get you over there, and it's a featured background role. It's $200 an hour. Oh, you'll probably be there 10 hours. $2,000 a day? Okay, I'll take it. But it's probably not true. So you have to really research it, because they can say, David, I can pay you $15,000 for one day. And if they're going to pay me zero, why say I'm going to pay you $400 and not pay me? Why I say $15,000? That way I'll definitely do it. We'll definitely sign up. They've had situations where they filmed an entire movie here in California. I think it was called Stayed in Russian or something like that. Or something, it was a Russian based thing. They had people that were in the background that kind of looked Russian, they thought looked Russian. I did one day, and this kind of stinks. The money wasn't really great. It was a little bit more than, let's say it was 54 for 8 hours of work, and this was 75. So people were going to want to get that because that's that extra money. Now that 54, I mean more than that in 1 hour, and I used to do that for 8 hours, or much more than that. But so they did an entire movie, and they got in the can. They flew back to Russia. They didn't pay anybody, none of the production, and they strung everybody along as long as they would go. Some people would go for 30 days. I guess I appreciate it. I know you're sending your payrolls in Russia, and the money comes over here, and they distribute it in whatever segments of time. But you 3 paydays are missing. You can say, oh, the good thing about having a missing payday, that next checks will be even better. They had all these different ways to save, and people got ripped off a lot. I know one lady, she worked on it for like 61 days total and got nothing. So you gotta be careful. But anyway, so we talk about that kind of thing. Sports, a lot of times on sports. Jimmy Kimmel used to do his sports report. But politics, did we talk politics? When it wasn't involved in the skit. If it's a skit about politics, I did one where I'm naked on Jimmy Kimmel Show. I'm naked on Jimmy Kimmel Show. If you go back that way, you'll see me naked on Jimmy Kimmel. That's what the name of the video is. Maybe I'll link it to here. But the video is linked on. The video is all about me being naked on Jimmy Kimmel. That's when I filmed. So you can see that there. But no, if it wasn't involved in the skit, I think somebody just said, we're getting ready for the political season. And someone joked with her and said, well, you work on the Jimmy Kimmel Show every night is, I hate Trump. This is when I worked more recently. When I first started working, Trump wasn't president, he wasn't running, and all that. It was under the Obama administration, so really no politics there. So maybe something light as that, but it wouldn't be directed to me. And it was, hey, David, I know you're not going to vote for that Trump fella, are you? Nothing. No. Jimmy doesn't walk through the stage thing, oh, that Trump, he's no good. Oh, I don't like Trump. Hey, Guillermo, you like Trump? No, I don't like Trump. I don't like Trump either. Hey, David, you like Trump? Oh, I hate the Trump guy. No, nothing like that. We didn't all sing and pledge to I hate Trump. It was just a regular kind of a show. Were they nice to me? Very nice. Was it pay good? Very good. Will I miss working on it? Yes, I will. There was nothing on that show that I would not do as I've done. I would, if they call me tomorrow and say, hey, Dave, I know it's Sunday, but we got a Tuesday rush call for Jimmy Kimmel. Can you do 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday? Yes, I would, if I could. I'd have to, I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to change a doctor's appointment, so don't, a lot of people say, well, let me see what I can do, and I'll call you back. You lost it, just like that. If they say, can you be there? Yes, I can. When, where, and wardrobe. That's all you know. When am I going to be there? Where do I go? Usually it's going to be the Egyptian. And what do I wear? oh, we're going to wardrobe you. Don't worry. It's probably going to be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, and maybe a little bit earlier on Wednesday. And that's it. Boom. When, where, order. If you bring a pause, if you go, oh my God, you're done. You're done. Well, it is my son's birthday. You're done. Well, I took the picture of the airport. You're done. So it has to be a when, where, order, 100% availability. And they're pretty nice. I know them well enough now. I might have to say, oh, let me quickly cancel something, and I will definitely be there. I'll call you back in 15 minutes. Okay, David, go ahead and do that. But it was just normal business. Now, something I don't do the Scientology films. I just don't do it. I don't do it. It's not for me. They have every right to make that production, and I have every right to say thank you, but no, I can't do that. And that's why I handle those inquiries. Some of those are offer only, so you don't have to go to an audition. You don't have to just, hey, David, if you're available, we're going to put you in this movie, this Scientology television program. Just we'll send you over the details. Will you take it? Oh, okay, sure, I sure will. The money's not bad, but it's just not for me. No. I've done things of other religious situations. I've done some Catholics. Oh, I'm a Protestant, but I've done Catholic stuff. I do things for the Seventh-day Adventists. Did that. I've done something for the Mormons, and the more I look into things, maybe I would not. It's all in your personal experience. I was asked about something for, I guess it was the Jehovah's Witnesses, and a friend I know from Pasadena, she was in a bad situation. Let's just say, I'm not saying it's a cult. They're a cult. You're a cult. Everybody you don't like is Hitler, and every religion that varies from your straight belief is a cult. Some people say about the Pentecostals. Some people say about the Mormons. Some people say about everybody. And then if there's like a lot of the Protestants say, like, well, those molestations only happen in the Catholic Church, and I go, are you kidding? No, that's not true. People become a priest just so they can get at those children. No, there's some that get in that because they have a calling from God. They think I'm not them, so I don't know. I guess I would know if God called me up and said, David, tomorrow you got to go down to the seminary and sign up because you can become a priest. Oh, yes, Lord, I'm going to do it. He knows better than I do. But so something I just don't do. So, and maybe you do. But I was asked to do that one, and I just said, I really can't. I'm not available. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. And I'm polite, and I go, but nothing on there. If you were to work there tomorrow, let's say you're a die-hard MAGA wearer, you couldn't wear your red MAGA hat there, and you couldn't wear that on playing a train conductor in 1842. So, or maybe that's before the train. In 1892, 2001, you can't play that. The role doesn't call for that. So whatever it calls for, you got to do if you want to do it. So that's what we're going with. My experiences on Jimmy Kimmel, great. I'll miss working that show. I don't get to work it very often. I wish I could. People always get mad. So I can't work this show. I remember this one guy. He's an African American guy. I'm a white guy. He said, I can't work this show. It's all Asian and whites. Right. And give me 1 minute. I'll be right back to you. So I find 4 different roles that are looking for all black or young. We're both. He's 5 years older than me. 5 years, maybe 6 years. He's older than I am. He's black. He's a skinny fella. I'm a heavy fella. So I said, look at this. African American, and then another one was African American. 6 kids at the mall, 8 to 16. So there's nothing for us in that way. There's some roles, everything is black. There's one, everyone was black. The crew is black. I was filming next door. I think I was working on the George Lopez show, and one of my friends was the AD or the PA. And she was signing people in. She said, hey, David, come on over here. Look at this. We got ribs. I said, oh, man, you guys sure do. That smells really good. I was wondering who was barbecuing. And she said, yeah, help yourself. And I stood out like a sore thumb because I was the only white guy. Sometimes you can blend in. I could probably walk onto set, go to Crafty, get myself a cup of coffee, grab a bag of chips and a couple candy bars, and walk out the door. And no one would ever know because it's tons and tons of food. But this one, I was the only white guy. They're going to know it's me. And I would steal some food. She said, no. Was that being produced by the Wayne brothers? might have been. I was on that show another day, and they had fried chicken. Yeah, I loved it. Oh, it was, I don't know where they got it from. The caterer, I mean, big, like, you know, they take the chicken breast and they'll chop it into little small, it's like this big ostrich breast. Those are ostrich breasts. Those are Dolly Parton's. But it was delicious. But yeah, so there was nothing there. No one insulted me. No one said, "Hey, you can't do this," or "We don't do this here." Or blah, blah. I worked at one. It was all vegan food. They said the menu will be all vegan. And I'm thinking, okay, salad and iced tea. There we go. I'm good to go. And that's what I had: salad and iced tea. The craft services. They had some chocolate cookies that were vegan. A lot of vegan stuff they'll also do gluten free. I don't know if vegans have a problem with gluten, but it's all good. But Jimmy Kimmel, nice. Guillermo, nice. Crew, nice. Everybody's nice, and it will be sorely missed by me. I wish that statement was never made. Do I think it was inappropriate? Probably. We have the right to the freezer. People will use this when you're walking out the door carrying your box. What am I going to tell my wife, or what am I going to tell my husband, or what am I going to tell my mom? You know, they take your spatula and pull your McDonald's hat off and get out of here. You know, Ronald is grabbing you by your back of your shirt. You get out of here, you rat! They throw you out there. Yeah, so you have the freedom of speech, and they have the freedom of fire. So be careful. Take care, everyone. It is Saturday. I'll have this out here in about an hour or so, about an hour and 20 minutes. I'm supposed to go to work in 25 minutes. I think I will probably not. I'm not doing something I can't get out of. I can do what I was going to do for work. I can do later. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.